Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
Lego Lord of the Rings Balrog raised eyebrows for what some fans say is an unfortunate pose. I see it. I see it. Oh, I see it. It's taking a piss on Gandalf.
You shall not!
And he says to her, listen, you got a fine white girl ass. So I don't like the look of this D. Listen, I don't need gay or straight boner pills. My boner works just fine.
Before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Sanusi?
Show us your tits and I'll tell you.
I want to see movies! I think I've died and gone straight to honker heaven. Boobs are amazing.
Howdy all. Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the chat, the gatekeepers, join me in our never-ending quest to basically push back. And that's kind of what it is, push back and have fun and all kinds of good stuff. And I gotta say, I'm in a decent mood this morning. I mean, I haven't started my week angry. I haven't started week angry. Oh, stop it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Objectively. I didn't shit on it. I just have personal feelings on narrative choices. Ungrateful. 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 Always ungrateful. Too low. Too low. Anyway. So we got stuff to do today. I've covered a couple of things to talk about on my own. We do have the chat maybe watches reviews for Project Hail Mary. And we'll see where else things take us. We'll see where else it takes us, of course, because you guys can give me money to do things. You guys can give me money to do things. Whether it's $15 to talk about a discussion, $15 to read an article you want me to look at, $25 to react to a video within reason. And of course, $35 for chat. Made me watch this reviews, which we have one today. And I encourage you to give me money because for two reasons. One, I like money. I like money. And also, in about 2 weeks, it's time to pay up for StreamYard. It's time to pay up for StreamYard. Yes, it is that time of the year again. And we do have the Baby Yoda Day of Doom torture tier. And money gathered and collected via this goes towards paying for StreamYard for another year. So I encourage you to give me money. It's not that I can go out, as Dre would say, buy the cocaine in the hose. I can't afford the cocaine in the hose. With your help, we can't afford another year of StreamYards. Because listen, for all its ills, and I don't really suffer that many ills from it. StreamYard is it's the only game in town. It's the only game in town. Restream sucks. All the other ones suck. So StreamYard doesn't give me any problems. I never have any problems with it. People go, oh, fuck StreamYard, don't work. No, it works fine for me. So when you invest in me for StreamYard, you're investing in something that does work and doesn't break down and delivers a quality streaming experience. Whether or not that quality is top tier, that's on me. But it all works. Anyway. Okay, what are we going to start with? I got a couple things to start with. One, and this will come up in the news segment, but I'll talk about it now. We spent yesterday during Roundtable talking about Crimson Desert and its launch and all those things, and why I think a lot of people were creating manufactured controversy over it. Some people who are very fake try to make as though it's some sort of disastrous launch and that shame on Pearl Abyss and all this kind of stuff. I had a couple small complaints. I would have been nice if the storage chest had worked in your starter tent. A couple of small things. But guess what happened last night? Guess what happened last night? Pearl Abyss dropped a tiny little patch last night that fixed various bugs and this and that, and also unlocked the storage chest in your starter tent. So suddenly, my whole game plan for how I'm going to approach the streaming and the game and the stuff, it's suddenly changed, because suddenly I can gather and store all I want as the pack rat that I am. So what do you think I did for hours last night? I just wandered the wilderness. One, I was hunting for teleporter pads, which I found several of in the region I'm currently running around in. But I gathered and I mined and I hunted and I got materials, and I've just started dumping them into my storage chest because I now have 250 spaces of storage available to me that not is on my direct currently 82 spots of inventory space. So what do you think happened? And there'll be a story later on in the news. They fixed a couple of bugs that there were, a couple of performance issues. They've added some keyboard binding and stuff like that, and they added storage. Oh, guess what? The on Steam, the reviews for Crimson Desert have now shifted to mostly positive. So let's review. Let's review real quick. The problems people had with the game were all surface level superficial. The people who are complaining a lot. There are some who just want to hate for love of the game. But those problems have now begun to be fixed. And when you fix these surface level problems that were kind of more of a quality of life thing, you're now able to appreciate the enjoyment of the game. The game that was always the same underneath these surface level problems. It's almost like I was right and certain people were wrong. And they purely do this shit because they make rage content. And that's all they have. To either make rage content or kiss ass. So there we are. Crimson Desert, moving right along. And like I said, last night, I fucked around. I went resource hunting, collecting stuff for future alchemy potions and stuff like that. And what I did to do a lot of is I went food gathering, because I ran into some beasties last night that started to kick my ass and hurt me a little bit. Stoneworms, they're a thing. And I got beat up a little bit, and I blew through my food to heal myself and a couple of my Palmer pills, which I now know what they do. Therefore, I was out of food, so I had to go hunting. And even though I have several recipes, because of the lack of storage at the time, I don't have the complicated ingredients required to make the really beefy meals. So I was just hunting for meat that I could grill and give me decent amount of health regeneration. With my health, is only around between 300 and 400 hit points right now. I don't need a plate of fish that's going to give me 540 hit points. I don't need that yet. But I was gathering meat and other materials, but then suddenly, boom, here comes the patch, and oh wow, look what I can do! I can now start collecting the ingredients I've been passing over. Start collecting salt and sugar and garlic and cooking oil, all these things, water, collecting all these things, and I'm just going to store them away. And when it's time to cook, then I'll take out the exact ingredients I need for the bigger meals, and then I'll make the meals to be great. But for now, I'm just grilling really a lot of poultry. Well, I did kill a couple of deer. Got some fresh meat from the deer. But I'm doing a lot of that stuff. So that's what I did last night. And then, of course, I found some stuff. I climbed to the top of a mountain to see what I could see. And I did it because I did it because it was there, honestly. It was just there, and I hope there was something up there. And I did discover bismuth. Although I couldn't mine it, but I could blow it up with an arrow, but there were no remains. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to mine that shit, because I'm sure it's a craftable agent. Point is, I climbed to the top of a mountain because I could. I enjoyed myself doing that. And then I looked around, and then I was really using the whole flash thing you do to look for glowy points, and that's how I started finding the teleporter pads more easily. Because I was just kind of wandering around. I was like, wait a minute, the teleporter pads are going to glint. So I found teleporter pads. I can go to several sections now pretty quickly where I want to do stuff. And I had myself a fine old time just collecting materials, doing this stuff like that. I got an earring that I upgraded to give me both defense and stuff like that, and all this stuff. I upgraded all my gear again. You didn't get the patch. They did. Everybody got the patch. It's a universal patch. 1.00.39, I think it is. Yeah, I was good. I toyed around with the idea of DMing you last night, Weasel, but I thought, you know what? He'll probably be watching today, so I'll be able to let him know that there is the patch for the storage, and the storage is good. And they did a couple other things, which we'll see in the news, that I'll comment on, which I did sort of partake in before the patch, and I can understand some of the frustration. But either way, I really like Crimson Desert. I'm thinking about it right now while we're doing this, because that's what I want to be doing. I want to be playing Crimson Desert. But we must do a show today. I must make content for actual videos. And I want to play Crimson Desert. I want to play Crimson Desert right now. And we're going to stream it tonight. I'm going to try to set it up on the mini to see if I can improve on the streaming quality, because the game runs fine for me, but I want you guys to have a better quality when you're watching it. So we're going to stream tonight. We're going to play tonight. I mean, I got nothing else to do tomorrow. So whatever. We'll play night. We'll play until I don't want to play anymore tonight. I was up till 4 this morning, my time, playing, watching anime and playing, because I'm just effing around. Because I go down the rabbit hole of gathering, because in my mind, the more I gather, the more I have when I'll need it when I actually come around to something crafting I'll need to make. And also upgrading my gear. Because I unlocked several challenges that I have to complete now, because I got a spear and I upgraded my bow. I also got another one. I got an unlock. I have to kill 5 people with a cannon blast. I don't have access to a cannon yet, so I assume there's going to be a moment where I'm being charged by people and I can man a cannon and I can blow them up. So I got a bunch of challenges, because that means I have a bunch of abyss cubes that I need to unlock for upgrading. But that's it, because there's no straight up experience in this game. You upgrade your stuff through getting abyss cubes or abyss materials. I went around upgrading my gear the best I can by just gathering materials. Now I still haven't figured out if mining points regenerate, because there's this one near a particular teleport pad, resource of iron, that hasn't regenerated, but I think it's because I can't reach the top node because there's no footing. Although I wonder if I shoot it with an arrow. That'll blow it up. Anyway, I also discovered something else cool. Per one of the abilities with your Axios abilities, you can pick up giant trees, and you can hit people with trees. You take a tree like a giant. You only have a few seconds till your stamina runs out, mind you. Oh, no, is your stamina or your spirit? I think it's your spirit. No, it's your stamina. Wait. Anyway, you can pick up a tree, and you can beat people with a tree. You can beat people. Now, I have also started unlocking the different combat moves, and as you level them up, you can chain your combat moves. So there is more to the combat than the naysayers were saying. There's more to it if you actually play the game and level up the abilities and read what they do. And in my case, read how much stamina they cost. But yeah, so I am enjoying it. We're going to play more tonight. There'll be a couple of articles in the news segment we'll go over, and I'll comment on further. But we must move on. Anyway, because we do have to get to other stories, and we do have to get to chat, maybe watch other reviews, so Jed can yell at me at how wrong I am with Project Hail Mary, even though I said it was a good movie and gave it an 8 out of 10, objectively. No pleasing some people. I got this though. We all know that I am no fan of One Piece live action. I'm a massive fan, a 20+ year fan of One Piece, real One Piece, manga, anime. I'm devoted. I'm a passionate fan. I love it. Robin is one of my favorite waifus in anime. And I'm happy to talk about One Piece at any time. Dermy and I, every month on Anime Odyssey, when we're caught up, we devote an entire section of the stream to just talk about One Piece. That's how much we love it. But I do not like One Piece live action because it is not One Piece. It is a pale imitation of the real thing. And season 2 dropped about a week or so ago. I've ranted endlessly on it at certain points. You see me talk about it on this stream, on Dermy's channel, other places. So I'm not going to do that again right now, but I am going to do this because reports have come out today, and this is the one that I found that was the best of one I wanted to look at. We know that season 2, let's say the views were down. The views were down on season 2. It was not as watched. It was the most watched thing this year for Netflix, but not as much as season 1 because the goodwill is fading, because those of us who are actual One Piece fans and not poser One Piece fans, we checked out. But the normies still showed up and the casuals still showed up and they enjoyed it. I will argue with them that they're enjoying bullshit, but that's a different discussion. But now we've got some more news. The people behind One Piece live action are busy talking. And now they have revealed that they really do want to do 12 seasons. 12 seasons of One Piece live action. And they say they need 6 seasons to reach the middle of the story and 12 to adapt to complete. First of all, bullshit. 12 seasons of 8 episodes a pop, and you think you're going to reach the time skip? You think you're going to reach the time skip in 4 more seasons? That would mean, let's see, season 3. I'm going to weeb on you right now. So get an umbrella, all right? Get an umbrella, get your plastic sheets. I'm going to weeb all over you right now. You would need, season 3 is Alabasta. And Alabasta is not a long arc. It's a short arc, to be honest. It's a short one as the first major super arc, where the Straw Hats are moving across a map, and you'll understand it at another point. I'll say to you. Anyway, after Alabasta, then you've got all things Skypiea. With Skypiea, you have to devote all of season 4 to Skypiea then, okay? That's Skypiea. It would take that much because there's a lot going on in Skypiea, and you cannot skip Skypiea. You cannot. Some people want to, but you cannot. Then after Skypiea, you must start with Davy Back, because Davy Back fights, as annoying as they are canon and they are important. And then you must combine part of that with season 6, which would be Water 7 and Enies Lobby. That's not a halfway point. You're not even close to the halfway point. Do you understand? This just proves to you that people behind this show don't know what we're talking about. If you get to season 6 and do this shit properly, you are maybe at a combined Water 7 and Enies Lobby. And even then, you're going to have to rush if you're only doing one 8-episode season, because a lot happens in Water 7 before the shit really goes down in Enies Lobby. And when they talk about this, they don't say you have to include flashbacks. It's not just the battles and the stuff like that. You must include flashbacks. You get to Enies Lobby, you have to do Robin's backstory. So they claim we need 6 seasons to get to the middle of the story. What the fuck are you talking about? This proves you don't know shit. So let's keep going. Let's see what it looks like if they get to actually 12, where it lands. Okay, after Enies Lobby, then you have Thriller Bark. That's season 7, Thriller Bark. That's a long one, too. That's long. Okay, let's see. After Thriller Bark, Seabody. Then you're up to C-Body, and season 8 would have to be all things C-Body, with the beginning of then the prelude to, well, they have to do Amazon Lily. You have then that, so season 8 would have to be C-Body and Amazon Lily combined, because you could do that. You could do that. You'd have to scrunch it. You could do it. Then season 9 would have to be Impel Down. All of it. Everything Impel Down for season 9. Season 9, Impel Down. Then season 10, Marine Ford. Marine Ford. Okay. And then after Marine Ford, it's not so much an arc, it's the fallout of Marine Ford, where it's the fate of the One Piece crew. Where is everybody? Where is everybody after the events of C-Body? And then it's, so maybe you're at 11 seasons right now. Then that's time skip. That's time skip. And you start the time skip back on C-Body and the reunion of the Straw Hats. And then you're first at Fishman Island if you're at season 12, maybe 13. So these people are full of shit. We need 12 seasons to tell it all. Adapted completely. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't. And then they add the thing here. It could take them 50 to 20 years. Here's a reality. One Piece may have been going on for 20 years in manga and anime, but in reality, only 3 to 4 years have passed in the in-world timeline. That's how long is actually time has passed in the world. Only a couple of years, only a handful of years. Count on one hand. Not even 5 years. And they're going to ask these kids who are all in their early 20s, they'll be 40 by the time this shit's all done. This is why you cannot adapt anime live action. Especially long-running anime and that manga that have a lot of source material that will take years to tell, because in anime, most of the time, characters do not age. They don't age because the time periods are actually pretty short in some cases. One Piece live action is a joke. They didn't have a plan. They don't have a plan. When you hear them say, we need 12 seasons, 6 seasons, I just laid it all out for you. They do not have a plan. They do not understand what it takes to tell the story. And God forbid, and I say that, God forbid they actually make it to stuff like Dressrosa and Wano. Wano took Oda, I think, 2 years to do in manga form. Maybe 3. I don't remember. I was reading it. So I'm not sure. But there is no way they would tell Wano in 1 season. There isn't. It would take 2 seasons of actual television to tell Wano. And to say complete it, One Piece isn't finished yet. One Piece isn't done yet. We're in the last arc, according to Oda Sensei, but that's an arc comprised of various arcs. We're still in the middle of Elbaf. The events of Elbaf are first heating up. The big battles are first now kicking into high gear in Elbaf. And we still have a couple more places to go before we get to Laftel. Got a couple more where everything reaches its peak and pinnacle, the climax. And we're years away. We're years away. We just keep hoping Oda Sensei is taking care of himself and that he is healthy and that his team is up to date, that he's laid it all out. So if anything does happen, it could finish. We're years away. We're going to be in the 2030s by the time One Piece ends. Officially. So I don't want to hear it from producers at Netflix that they need 12 seasons to tell it all and 6 seasons the middle point of the story. 6 seasons doesn't even get you to the time skip. doesn't even get you to time skip at all. Fuck One Piece live action. You want to watch One Piece, you want to read One Piece, go to the manga, go to the anime. And you don't have to spend years watching it. If you just watch 1 hour a day, you can watch 3 to 4 episodes in an hour every day. Just an hour. Chill out, relax, watch some One Piece. And before you know it, you've burned through a lot of the content. It's over 1,000 episodes. Cry me a freaking river. Either get on board or get off the train. That's what I say. All right, we're done. Yep. I saw that this morning, and I even though I know a lot of you guys are not the weebs that I am, I had to talk about it. Derby and I are going to go over this again. Going to have to go over this again. I want to hear from you, woman. I want to hear from you. You go back to your perch and call at me about something else. Anyway. Yeah, you make a good point, Dash. You make a good point. The fact that they won't make real television anymore because the model is broken. That's the point about it. The model of actual television production is broken. We used to get, and I'll always point to what's behind me because there are several series up there that were 20 to 24 episode seasons of television in a year. We aren't going to ever get that again because, one, network television is done. Or what's left on network television, nobody cares about. Procedurals. Nobody cares about procedurals anymore. They don't. I don't think they do because they're all politically motivated. And then they don't know how to properly budget their time because the people involved with streaming shows are not actual TV people. Or when they get them, they're still operating under the constraints of the streaming company. You can only make it 10 episodes and take your time, take years. No, it is not good to take 2 to 3 years to make 10 episodes of television, 8 to 10 episodes of television. That's not a good model. You're wasting money and wasting everybody's time. So yeah, you're all right. They don't know how to make television anymore. Yes, I've heard about the Yowie stuff on Jed's story. I've heard about this. Biggles is a menace. Biggles is a menace. We're $1 billion. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Anyway, so there it is. Yes. So One Piece live action, it's got problems. It always had problems. And because if you understand One Piece, it had problems. Okay. I'll take money. I'll take some money. I paid my taxes, or I scheduled to pay my taxes this weekend. Not a ton because of my level of income. But now that, you make enough with the YouTube stuff like that, there's a thing called self-employment tax. There's a thing on the federal level called self-employment tax. Yeah, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Learned about that. Anyway. So even though all the majority of what I made was tips and I didn't get taxed on, they still found a way to tax me. They still found a way to tax my ass. Anyway, so money would be appreciated. Money. I got to pay for StreamYards. I have to come up with something so awful. Why? I have Ariel. I have integrity. Everything I make is quality. Everything I make is quality. Also, I did see yesterday when we ended Roundtable, you asked me a question, but I didn't get a chance to answer it. You asked us something. What did you ask us again? Because I'll give you an answer right now. Because I saw it. I was like, I could have answered that. What was the question you asked yesterday afternoon as we went off the air? Because there was a delay, so I didn't see it till I'd killed the stream. So go ahead and ask that question again, and I'll give you an answer if you remember what it was. And I can't go look at it. So, all right, well. Sorry, I didn't see it till I had killed the stream and I was checking things. Maybe it was something. I don't remember what it was. Problem is also I can't just fire up the stream and go look at the chat because the chat wouldn't populate all the way to the end. So if you can remember, go ahead and ask it and I'll give you an answer if I can. And I saw it and I thought, oh, I could have answered that. Anyway. All right, what else I got? We got news. And then we got chat, maybe watch us reviews. Was it with Spider-Man? I don't know. It was like a last second thing. We were talking. I don't know. Yeah, I have to. I plan on doing that this week. I plan on doing the fanfic this week. I really do. I was thinking about that last night. I will try and get that done this week. I will try. All right, let's get to the news. Let's refresh everything. Lots of things I don't care about. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. There we go. All right. News time. Kirsten Dunst to join Housemaid sequel with Sydney Sweeney. Okay. Don't care. I don't need to go watch The Housemaid to touch myself to Sydney Sweeney. Roma producer Piamenta Films, Amazon MGM Studios wraps shooting on Drama King, featuring the night manager star Diego Calva, Narcos. I don't care. Donna Langley, Tech CEO Tracy Cho to receive honors. Don't care. These people who probably don't deserve anything they get. Star Trek Starfleet Academy to end with season 2. Kurtzman Trek is done. Kurtzman Trek is done. Star Trek Starfleet Academy to end with season 2. We win. We beat the shit out of it. It's so bad they did not ask for more. Oh boy. That is it for there is no Kurtzman Trek in production. There has been real Star Trek in production for well over a decade. There's no more Kurtzman Trek in production. So I'm going to save this because I'm going to make a video on this when we're done. This is my video for the day. So let me just open this up. I will make the book. I'll make the book. Open up. Doop. Go there. Haha. And yes. Oh, whoops. Wrong button. Didn't mean to hit that. Anyway, Starfleet Academy is done. Ha ha ha! Oh, the victory! The victory! We beat the shit out of that show. But we'll be back for season 2. We're gonna okay. The byline for No Man Wants to Go reviews for season 2. It's essentially this is us dancing on its grave. When we review it and talk about it for season 2, that'll be us dancing on its grave. Listen, Project Hail Mary brings the business for Amazon MGM. Hong Kong film art reflects China muscle and AI's advance in microdrama fever. I hate microdramas. Those are stupid. The Bold and Beautiful launches streaming subscription. I don't care about soap operas. CIA renewed for season 2 at CBS. No. Valerie Perrine, Superman and Oscar-nominated Lenny star, dies at 82. Okay. Wasn't that Miss Tessmacher? Looks like Miss Tessmacher. She had great tits in the 70s and 80s. Great tits. Listen, I'm showing respect. She was hot back in the day. Moana reveals The Rock's full look and he looks terrible. That looks ridiculous. I'm sorry. He looks ridiculous. Rachel Solomon to exit CNN. I don't know who that is. Heated rivalry pit Bob's Burgers and won banned from World Media Festival Rocky Awards. So all bullshit. All crap. Dutton Ranch first look. More Taylor Sheridan shows from Yellowstone, and I don't care. I know how it was so good. It was so good. It was every episode was 10 out of 10. The best Star Trek first season ever. Canceled. Oh, anything else here? Celine Dion to make comeback in Paris. She's got a particular. What does she have? What's the disease she has? She's got something. Good for her. I'm not a fan of Celine Dion because I'm a man, but good for her. Democratic senators demand FCC conduct foreign investment review of Paramount Warner Brothers deal over backing Oh, whatever. That Saudi money, that Arab money is dream put it. That everybody has the Arab money. Everybody's got that Arab money. Shut the fuck up. Netflix probably had Arab money. Shut up. Just let it. Like I said, I've been saying, I'm not a fan of anybody merging, but I want the Paramount to go through because it's going to piss so many of the right people off. Netflix, Paramount, Lionsgate, Film Nation, Mr. Beast execs among speakers at Global Production. Oh, good Lord. Here's the thing. I checked out of Yellowstone after season 2. I checked out of Yellowstone. I realized after season 2, this is not the season 1 that I signed up for. I thought, originally, when I started watching Yellowstone, I thought, man, this is basically Western Godfather, and I'm here for it. And then in season 2, I just didn't like where it was going. It just, way it was being portrayed, and is that I had left a nasty taste in my mouth, and I dipped out. And from what I hear, it's a good thing I dipped out because it did deteriorate. Kevin Costner. What do we got here? Oprah. I don't give a fuck about Oprah. Alison Camerata returns to News Connected. Don't care. Miss Rachel says, I am political as she fights to close ICE facility in Texas that's detaining children. It's political to believe that every child's equal. No, every child isn't equal because illegal children are not American citizens and they don't get the protection of the Bill of Rights. It's just that simple. So take your commie Marxist indoctrination bullshit, Miss Rachel, and flush yourself down the toilet. You know what? When you flush yourself down the toilet, get clogged. So you're stuck there. As other people keep pissing and shitting into the toilet and try to flush it, and it keeps hitting you in your commie Marxist face. How's that for a metaphor? So fuck this bitch. Don't care about her. This is what kids are watching. I am political. Bitch. Taking the temperature on global film locations, AI threat. Oh, no, shut up. Don't care. Gaumont forced a buyout offer at French. No, don't care. In-betweeners and treatment, don't care. Disgraced BBC News anchor. I don't even know what that is. During Nazi occupation, Belgium, World War II, labor camp drama. Brendonk explores more dilemmas. I don't care. Anything of interest here? We'll go one more because it is a Monday. We'll cross over. Anything. Don't care about Miley Cyrus. Don't care. Jason Momoa flees Oahu's North Shore amidst extreme flooding. We're safe for now, but there's a lot of people who weren't. Well, you can afford to do shit, Mr. Momoa, because you are a wealthy celebrity. All right, let's go over here. Exclusive. We reveal the new Riftbound Unleashed Master Yi Legend card. Words were said, and I don't know what I just said. I don't know. The Rock is losing this season's player-decided Fortnite storyline despite a weekend event designed to help him catch up. I need other people to explain to me Fortnite bullshit. I'm not gonna talk about it. I need people to explain it to me. Yoshi P on why young gamers may be struggling to connect with Final Fantasy. That would be worth probably looking at because he is the Grand Poobah of Final Fantasy right now. He runs the show. He's the one that directs it. And you know what would help? And this just me. I haven't read this article. I haven't said anything about this. What would help is 1, stop reinventing the wheel with every mainline installment of Final Fantasy. 2, go back to JRPG gameplay. Menu-based, turn-based. Menu-based plus turn-based. No more action RPG stuff. Go back at Final Fantasy X. Go back to the Final Fantasy X gameplay model. Go back to that. It worked. 2, don't take so long between games. 3, 4, well, I thought 2. I was 3 or 4, whatever. I lost count. And you know what? Go back to the fantasy aspect. No more mixing fantasy technology. Really go back to the fantasy part of it. That's what you need to do. And also open world. Or not open world, but world map. Final Fantasy 16, you were locked into the world. There was no exploration. There were instance zones. Give us world again. Give us world. I mean, you pretty much did it in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth remake. But give us the map. Give us maps to explore. Dragon's Dogma 2 fans think Capcom is teasing an expansion set in the game's northern region. I know that Dragon Dogma 2 people are very antsy over comparing it, Crimson Desert comparisons right now. They're very antsy over this. New Dying Light, the Beast Edition, adds one life mode, zombie-free areas, and more. Oh, whatever. 2019's Call of Duty Modern Warfare is joining resurgence. Don't care. Capcom reveals how it plans to use generative AI in game development. Newsflash. AI is not your boogeyman. It is a tool. We talked about this yesterday on Roundtable. It's a tool. It's a tool. Could be used for good or bad. And as we said yesterday, is it being overused right now? Yes. Is it destroying jobs? Yes. But it's still a tool. And those who learned how to use the tool will be employed. And it can help move things along quickly. But it is not this evil thing that is going to destroy a video game. It's not. It isn't. And there are a lot of people using it as a placeholder to push their rage campaign agendas. As soon as they see something in AI, oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. If AI wasn't involved, you'd be sucking its balls. You just would be. You're all hypocrites. Every last fucking one of you. Years after suggesting he was done with Star Wars, John Boyega says he's spoken with new Lucasfilm president Dave Filoni. Who cares? Who cares? Xbox partner preview showcase to include updates and new reveals, Microsoft says. Okay. I want to be the most OP MFer ever. Why try to hinder me? It turns out that flying a dragon in Crimson Desert is on a 15-minute timer and there's a 50-minute cooldown. You can't speed up. Well, I haven't even sniffed dragon mounts yet. So I can see why they do that, because if you could fly permanently all the time, it would kind of break the game. It would break the game because there is fast travel if you find teleporter pads, but you still got to walk and do a lot of shit to get from A to B, maybe to C. I can understand it. Maybe not just 15 minutes, but maybe shorten the cooldown to 30 minutes. I would do that. I don't know why it needs a 50-minute cooldown, but either way, and there's still a jetpack. Still jetpacks. I got blow my nose. Hang on a second. All right. What else we got? Pokemon Pokepedia players build in-game calculators, pushing Cozy Life Sims limits. Okay. Okay. I've never understood taking these games and turning them into these types of situations. I just want to build my city or build my town or whatever. That's all I ever want to do. Bungie is watching and ingesting your feedback about Marathon's cryo archive and looking for solutions for players who can't get on during the weekend. Excuse me. I don't think anybody's really trying to play Marathon. I think this is bullshit. Bullshit. As I mentioned earlier, Crimson Desert Steam reviews jump to mostly positive as latest patch makes significant improvements. Storage box. Well, that's kind of the point. That's the point. It's a literal live review. You watch us play. You watch us play. And now here's the thing. Now, because I have a storage chest, I don't need to grind to chapter 3. Now I'm going to wander around and do side quest shit in the region. I'm not going to push the main story. When we come back tonight, it's killing banditos. We'll be killing banditos, and we'll be pushing side quest content. That's what we're doing tonight. Harry Potter actor Papa Acedu slams racist abuse after Snape casting. Nobody should have to encounter this for doing their job. I've been told quit or I'll murder you. Okay, I am sure there are insane people who have threatened physical harm on him. But motherfucker, you should have never taken this job in the first place. You knew exactly what you were getting into by taking on a role that was not made for you. By participating in it as being a part of a DEI hire. You knew exactly the shit you were signing on for, that you would get pushback. Now, I do not approve or condone threats of violence, but I do condone saying Snape isn't black. You're a black guy. You shouldn't be playing a white guy. And it's not racism because the lore says so. So shut the fuck up, whiny bitch. Buffy's Vampire Slayer stars pay tribute to Nicholas Brendan, who was, oh shit, he passed away. Wow. Okay, R.I.P. Xander. R.I.P. Xander. Whew. That's that. Hey man, there you go. R.I.P. Xander. 54. That's not old anymore. Maybe he was having a hard life. I don't know. I just wanted to be known that I did it this before the patch. Crimson Desert players who beat its rock-hard archery minigame before today's update are now flexing now. Okay, I actually did try the archery minigame last night. The first challenge, you have to win it 3 times in a row. And you cost 80 copper a pop. And at the time, I had about 75 silver, and 100 copper equals silver. So I did it a few times, and I did win it once. But the thing is, your NPC opponent reacts so quickly where these pop-up targets go that sometimes you couldn't get there in time to even have a chance. And to do that 3 times, those who did it, good on you, dude. Good on you. Now, I would wager maybe some of them were maybe keyboard mouse, because it's a lot faster to keyboard mouse than to analog shift it. And then you have to beat the champion. So I tried it last night. I realized if I'd kept trying, I would have probably burned through 20 silver or some shit like that to try and do it. So I kind of gave up, thinking that I'll improve my bow and maybe increase my bow attack speed, which I did a little bit. I did improve the current bow that I'm using. So I guess when I go back and beat it, I'll be beating a nerfed version. So I acknowledge that. I did try it last night. I won once, and then I promptly lost. We got the patch. We were talking about that. Apple AirDrop is coming. Don't care about phone crap. Bluey crap. Hail Mary, open again. Okay, that's enough of that. Y'all, someone talk about that. More Ubisoft layoffs. Haha. Project Hail Mary box office. We talked about that yesterday. And, of course, we haven't talked about it. R.I.P. to the GOAT, Chuck Norris. Oh, when I saw that Chuck died over the weekend, man, that sucked. That sucked. I'm a Chuck Norris fan. Favorite Chuck Norris movie? Delta Force. Chuck Norris kicking terrorist ass. Chuck Norris, man. But now Variety attached Chuck Norris after his death, calls Walker, Texas Ranger, cop agenda. Fucking chills. Pissing on a dead man's grave. Chuck Norris was a patriot. Served in the military. Listen, my cousin, who's much older than me, he was a student when he studied martial arts in a Chuck Norris dojo. My cousin. He called him sensei. Whenever we talk about it, he called him sensei. Chuck Norris taught responsibility what martial arts does. It teaches you responsibility, teaches you control, teaches you self-respect and integrity. And not only that, he's also a stand-up dude. Chuck Norris was a stand-up dude. Never heard a bad thing about him. Promoted good, commonplace moral values. And just wanted to also entertain people. Chuck Norris kicks ass. Kicked ass. I always enjoy Chuck Norris. And there's nothing they can do that will tarnish that man's legacy. There's nothing they can do. They can try. That's just going to make us go, fuck you. Fuck you. We're all going to grow Chuck Norris beards, and we're going to come and kick your ass. So, RIP to one of the GOATs, Chuck Norris. And your legacy will live on, Sensei Norris. Your legacy will live on because your fans, your followers, your students will make sure people remember. Chuck Norris was awesome. Ryan Gosling had discussions with Marvel to play Ghost Rider. Michelle Gellar hopes new Sunnydale pilot doesn't leak. Urges fans not to read script. We already talked about that one. Former Bachelor contestant. There was some scandal about that. They canceled it. And right away, that's pretty. Good on you. Good on you, Park Place. Where to watch Walker, Texas Ranger. Once upon a time, it streamed for hours on USA Network back in the day. You couldn't move without tripping over an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger on USA Network. You couldn't do it. Let me see. Dennis Quaid calls out Hollywood's double standards for Trump supporters. Good for you, Dennis Quaid. Always liked Dennis Quaid. Let's see. There we go. And that's about it for here. All right. That's the news. I'm sticking to it. Okay, then. So, I guess it's time for chat. Made me watch his reviews. Let's set this up right here. So, once again, but before we get into it, I do need to make a comment. So, I did go to see Project Hail Mary on Saturday afternoon into early evening. And this is what I want. Yes, there it is. I did go see it. And first of all, listen, I'm an old man. We know I'm an old man. I've been going to the movies my entire life. My mom took me to see Disney's Cinderella when I was 1. And according to the story goes, I sat through half the movie before I bolted out of my chair to go play with other kids down in front of the screen, according to her. I sat through most of the movie engaged until I could sit no longer, and I got up and bolted and ran down to play with other kids at the front of the movie theater. So I've been going to movies my whole life. As a kid, going to the movies after school every Friday. My mom, if I didn't have a friend thing going on, right, because we had half days at my school, she would pick me up, and we would go pick up McDonald's, and we would go watch a movie. We'd stick McDonald's at the movie, and we'd watch and enjoy a movie. That was a ritual for years when I was in middle school. And of course, I've been going to movies as an adult with friends, by myself. So once upon a time, the movie going experience is great because once upon a time, it was $4 for a matinee. $4. Now we live in inflation years where I spent $15 this weekend to go to the theater, where I had to reserve my seat. And I reserved my seat days in advance because I thought, well, F it. I'm just going to do it this time because Jed told me when he went to go see it, it was all sold out and stuff like that. So he had to get a last week. So I wanted to make sure I at least got a seat as center as I could. I went all the way in the back. It's stadium seating. And then I was all alone. L14 at the back of my theater. There was only a few people dead center, about 6-7 rows down in the middle. And when I sat down for my theater yesterday, of course, for no reason, we had plenty of room. 2 dudes decided to sit right next to me. Plenty of room throughout the theater. This was not a packed theater. There was many, many seats open. They could have gone down 1 row in front of me, no real difference, and not a center. But dudes had to pick seats right next to me. And what do you think dude is doing during the movie? Every 15 minutes, dude pulling out his fucking phone to diddle on it. There is a significant sickness in a certain part of the generation with these fucking phones, dude. There's something wrong with people that you feel the need. You just paid $15 to watch this movie, And every 15 minutes, I clocked it. Every 15 to 20 minutes, this dude's whipping out his phone, going like that during the movie. Now, I have excellent peripheral vision. So every time he did it, I'm distracted by it. Phones are a fucking menace. And listen, I know I'm an outlier. I don't use my phone for anything. My phone is my phone to be a phone, to check the weather, to use as a calculator, and to use security tokens when I want to have double authentication for video games. I don't use my phone for jack other shit. Oh yeah, I'll take a picture once in a blue moon. People need to divorce themselves from their phones. There is a chemical sickness for some people and their phones. They can't put them down. They go into cold sweats if they can't touch their phone. How hard is it to put it in your pants for a couple of hours to watch a movie? How hard is it? Now, of course, I'm not talking about everybody, but there are people who have a problem. And this is something that needs to be talked about. And it's fucking annoying. All right, got that out of the way. Had to get that away because we got this, triggered the memory. Okay. All right, so. No, stop it. No, don't try and change that. Oh, if you had a guy on the phone, maybe you would have rated it higher. Don't do that, Ginger. Don't do that. No. He knows what he's doing. Anyway, okay, so now we will begin with chat, maybe watch this reviews. Project Hail Mary. Usually I go for a screen cap, but I can't get a screen cap right now, so we'll go with a poster. Okay, Project Hail Mary. Let's see. Based on a book by Andy Weir. Screenplay by Drew Goddard. And I'm saying that because that comes into play now. As Jed and I were breaking this down yesterday. So I have perhaps some change in my perspective of what bothers me. Maybe not so much Andy Weir, but maybe Drew Goddard. So, what is Project Hail Mary? Just for quick recap, I'm sure plenty of people know about it right now. Project Hail Mary, essentially, there is an organism called astrophage that is using our sun or many stars across the galaxy as landing points to launch to other planets like Venus with certain atmospheres where they can breed. And the more they breed, the more they go at the sun and dim the sun. Thank you, Jed, for correcting me on that. I was saying killing it's just dimming it, but it's enough that it can cause temperatures to drop, and Earth is on a doomsday cycle. And what we discover in the movie is that it's happening across the galaxy that we can see, except for one system, Tau Ceti. So a project begins, Project Hail Mary, because Hail Mary, it's a long shot, to just send out a ship to find out why the astrophage isn't killing, dimming, eating the Tau Ceti star. What happens, though, is, and now I'm telling this a little out of order because I'm not going to do the whole in medias res thing to try and explain it. What happens is you have Ryan Gosling's character, Dr. Grace, Ryland Grace. I remember his name. Look at me. Ain't it great? Ryland Grace. He ends up being the preeminent expert on astrophage through his own questioning of what makes life in a galaxy, stuff like that. And what will you stop? Will you stop? Stop it. Go do your stream. You got 1 minute. Go. Distracting me. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway. One day we're going to do this on Drive-In, and he and I are going to go back and forth for an hour on this shit. What you got yesterday on Roundtable was the light version of what that's going to be. Anyway. And Dr. Grace, spurned by most scientists for his beliefs on what makes life happen in the galaxy, ends up becoming the expert on astrophage because his out-of-the-box thinking for conducting experiments allows him to discover that they can make it replicate. It can make it grow. And then they decide that because they can control its growth in a controlled state, they can use it for fuel. And now I will say one thing, that this movie proves a belief that I have held for decades, that the only thing really keeping us from going to the next level of both science and exploration is energy. We do not have a proper, powerful energy source. And this movie shows you that even though it's the same thing that's killing us, when you have an energy source that can get you someplace, boom, we can go. We can go. So I did like the fact that it proved me right in a belief that I've had, that it's all about a powerful enough energy source to move us to the next level of technology, exploration, and all that kind of stuff. So I feel good about that. But so they decide to use the astrophage as an energy source to get to Tau Ceti, so they build the ship, they do experiments, and essentially they fire it off. They send the people. And what happens is, roughly 4 years later, Ryan Gosling's Ryland Grace wakes up on the Hail Mary with no memory of how he got there. No memory. Because they did comatose travel, is what they did. We've seen it in other science fiction where you have to go into basically cryostasis and stuff like that. This movie's version of that, they chose to do comatose, where it doesn't slow the aging, but you're basically gonna be on life support and doped up for the 4-year travel. So he wakes up, discovers that the other 2 crew members of the Hail Mary are dead, but he's trying to remember what he's even doing there. It's one of those things where you have all your skills and abilities, but you don't remember why or who you are. He didn't remember his own name, didn't remember who he was. So we go through the first part of that, and eventually he starts to remember things and why he's out there. Problem is, it was a 3-man crew. You needed a pilot, you needed an engineer, and you needed the scientist. He was just the scientist. So he has to learn how to pilot the ship. He has to learn how to do other stuff, this and that. And it's I would say there's a slight pacing problem with some of it. But also, it's part of the story because you need him to overcome these hurdles in this journey. Anyway, goes along. He gets to Tau Ceti and he starts doing the experiments, and then discovers there's another ship there, an alien ship. And after some interesting backs and forths, they make contact, and he meets an Iridian rock-based life form who names Rocky. And here is where the core of the movie now begins. It's about the friendship between Grace and Rocky, where they learn how to communicate and this and that. And this is the strength of the movie. It's the strength of the movie, this friendship they form together as they work together to save their respective worlds. They combine their intelligence, this and that. And there's humor in it. And as I said yesterday, the humor didn't really land for me. I think it's the presentation. But I can see where it's funny. It's just not, I didn't like the way it was written, is my problem. I didn't like the way Drew Goddard wrote it. It's a little, or in some cases, Jed said some of it was off the cuff. It was ad-libbed. No, not Enemy Mine. This is not Enemies to Friends. This is First Contact. Now we're friends, is what it is. But it's a great relationship. These 2 guys, they form a bond while they're out there. And very good, intense, proper emotional moments as they try to figure it out. And eventually they discover why the astrophage is not infecting the Tau Ceti sun. It's because there's a amoebic life form that essentially exists kind of like a bacteria on another planet where the astrophages go to breed, and it eats them. It's basically a predator. And that is a concept that I kind of do like. There is always something that's going to be a predator of something else. Everything has its apex predator or has its counterpart. There's always going to be something that's bigger and nastier than you are. So this amoebic life form eats astrophage, literally eats it. So now discover, okay, we have a way to save us. Now we need to collect it. And now they go through a whole big mission to get essentially go fishing. And they essentially create a fishing line to scoop up the amoebic life form for study and replication. But of course, it goes really bad. There's a whole thing where the Hail Mary goes out of whack and boom, bang, pow. Now, mind you, Grace and Rocky, they can't exist in each other's atmosphere. Rocky's an ammonia atmosphere, and Grace's needs oxygen to breathe. So they've adapted the Hail Mary where both of them are on there in certain parts of it. But everything goes wrong in this. And I'll explain why this scene both works for me and doesn't work for me. This is where Jed had his big complaint with me when I was talking about this yesterday. Everything kind of goes wrong and they almost die. And because Rocky doesn't want to see Grace die, he busts out of his containment in order to make sure the ship can switch modes and not crash, and also drag Grace to the medical robot that takes care of him when he gets injured. And of course, he damages himself, and he barely makes it back to his own containment place, which is a change that Jed told me was from the book, which I think was a good change after he explained it to me. And then it's basically Grace is on his own for a while, doing his best to try and help Rocky, but at some time he now must continue with the mission to see if they can farm the amoeba to then send it back to their respective homeworlds. Now, at the same time, there is also the knowledge that for Grace, this was a one-way trip. This was a one-way trip, that there was no going back for him. For anybody who went on this trip were going to die because there was not enough astrophage to go from Earth to Tau Ceti and back. Rocky, when he learned of this, said, "Oh, I have enough. It'll make my trip a little longer going home, but Iridians live for hundreds of years, so it's not like he's going to die of old age." So he decides to give Grace fuel to get back, enough astrophage to get back, and there you go. Grace gets to go home. Now they manage to complete their mission, and using Rocky's technology, Rocky's race, the Iridians, they use xenon as a gas on our periodic table, but they managed to transform it into a physical element, a mineral that Grace calls xenonite. And it's literally the base of all Iridian technology. And when Grace is when he's farming the amoeba to be resistant to nitrogen, because oxygen has nitrogen in our environment, they would die in it. So he managed to create it by using xenonite as a base. Problem is, after they go their separate ways with some good buddy stuff, Grace discovers that he's setting up to go for the 4-year sleep is what he's doing. And what happens is, he's probably going to go for 2 years on food and was then going to go to sleep for the remaining 2 years of the journey. But he discovers that the amoeba had evolved and was eaten through the xenonite and then going to eat the astrophage in his fuel supply. Now, he manages to fix it himself, and then he's faced with a problem. And here's where we come here. And now here's where the movie, being in medias res, going back and forth in clips and flashbacks to tell the story. Here's where we learn that Grace did not want to go on the journey. He after there was a massive accident that killed the scientists who were supposed to go on this journey, Grace was the only one left capable of doing it. And the bitch on wheels in charge of the whole Hail Mary project basically kidnapped him and shoved him on the Hail Mary. And due to his memory lag, he didn't remember this. And now he remembers it. And you get this whole scene of him remembering this. And I understand the setup for this, that you're supposed to see that he was a coward, that he was going to say, "I'll let the earth die because I'm too afraid to go do this." And there's a whole concept, a running theme of the movie. What is brave? He asks other characters early on, "Why are you brave?" And they say, "Well, being brave isn't about doing it for yourself. It's about doing it for others." And I say, why aren't we using the word hero? Because that's heroism. A hero is the person that puts him or herself before everything, puts the world before him or herself. In order, needs the many, needs the few. Needs the many, needs the few is greater than needs the one. A hero does what no one else does. because it's the right thing to do. Because they want to protect. And Grace failed his hero check. He failed it. And they made him go. And I understand the way the movie frames it. But personally, from a narrative perspective, and here's where Jed was yelling at me a little bit yesterday. I think Andy Weir and Drew Goddard, because I'll combine them both in this, I think you could have written it a little better where I don't lose respect for Grace. Crying and wailing and being told, don't worry, you'll overcome because we know you're better than this. I don't like that. I didn't like it. I think it could have been written and done a better way to have him have massive insecurity and to show being a coward, but without the breakdown of running away and pinned down and drugged and screaming, please don't do this. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Not to saying that it's bad. Here's the point. I'm not saying it's bad way to do it because you have to show him as being as failing his hero check. I just think it could have been written and done a better way where it doesn't make me feel distaste for him. So he discovers this, and now he's faced with his hero's dilemma. Jed doesn't want me to use the word hero, and I'm using Jed because Jed is the primary flag standard bearer for this movie with me. So, and this is based on a discussion from yesterday. I'm going to use the word hero. It's the hero moment. And because Jed was telling me that he's not supposed to be a hero. It's not meant to be a hero movie. But this is still a hero moment. And when you make the choice to be the unselfish person, you are the hero. You become a hero. Because he has a choice to go home and say, sorry, Rocky, I want to go home. Or to sacrifice this one chance to get home and to go save Rocky. And therefore, save the Iridian race on Erid. He chooses to be here. Now, obvious what he's going to do. There's nothing. Here's the thing about this movie, too. I'll say this. There are in terms of the progression of the plot, there are no surprises in terms of the eventual choices they have made and where things go. There are no surprises. You know he's going to do the hero move because they've done so much building of their friendship. And also with the revelations that after being betrayed by the people back on Earth, and the fact that Grace has nothing on Earth except his students because he was a teacher, Grace has nothing back on Earth. He doesn't have home. As they say in the movie, he doesn't even have a dog. So he's not actually giving anything up in terms of going home. He's choosing a new home because he saves Rocky, and Rocky takes him back to Erid with him. And in the epilogue, you discover after, of course, and Grace sent the amoeba in probes back to Earth, and they get it 4 years later. He saves Rocky, and he helps him contain the Xenonite so that it doesn't destroy. Because we said all of Iridian technology is Xenonite based, so the entire ship is made of Xenonite. So there's no containing the amoeba the way Grace could on a ship built of actual metal from Earth, basic metal, steel, titanium, whatever. So Grace goes to Erid, and he ends up being they create a biodome for him, a biosphere for him that's basically on a beachfront property, perfectly controlled weather all the time. And Rocky is happy that they're best buddies. They walk around. He has a life there, and then they say, "You can go home now. We've bred enough astrophage. We've made the repairs to the Hail Mary. You can go home now." And then Grace says, "Let me think about it." And then Grace chooses not to go home. And Jed asked me, "Did I see this coming?" Yes. I knew he wasn't going to go home. I knew he was going to be a teacher. It was so obvious to me. Maybe it's because I'm an experienced writer and storyteller that I could see the tracks being laid down. I knew he's good. So now he's going to teach the young Iridians about science. And he's going to have a home there. Granted, his only love will ever be his hand for the rest of his life, but whatever. Sometimes maybe that's all you need. And so it's a happy ending. The probes get home to Earth. They're going to save this and that. No, he didn't say I am. No, he did not. They did not do cliche I am home. But it showed him where he started. The movie started in his own life with him being a teacher, helping students learn and have fun with science, and it returns to him teaching young Iridians about science and how to have fun with science and knowledge of that. So it's a nice little thing there. And as I said, this is a well-made movie. It's well shot. It's well directed. It's well acted. Ryan Gosling does a great job. The work, which is also, I learned yesterday during we talked about this, it's all practical effects with Rocky. It's no CGI. It's a real practical effects puppet. So that's cool. The voice work from who was just the puppeteer, apparently, it's good. It was the right kind of tone. It helped with the humor when it did work for me. And the story is a good progressing narrative, even though I'm not a fan of in medias res storytelling. It's done with a purpose, and it fits together, and it does flow left and flow properly. My problems with this movie come from, and it's probably I don't know if it's Jim Henson. It probably comes from a point that my criticism comes from the fact that it might be a Drew Goddard problem, combined with maybe a little bit of Andy Weir. Both as the other example of a movie that we recently watched because of this, Jed did this on purpose, The Martian in this, I do not like the way the tension gets done in these movies. It's too predictable and it's too manufactured. Even though Jed kept stressing me, but these are the real things that could go wrong. That's not my point. It's the way it's portrayed. It just goes, oh, bad thing happened, bad thing happened, bad thing happened, bad thing happened. It's just one bad thing literally after another. And I don't care if it's the reality of the situation. When it comes to being engaged, I don't get time to readjust myself after one tension moment after another. It's unsettling to me as a viewer. And I have a problem with it. I don't know if anybody else does, but I have a problem with it. And it takes me out of the movie because now I've seen it multiple times now in Andy Weir adapted movies. And it's Drew Goddard who does this. Oh, I'm sitting there waiting, going like this. Okay, here's the tension moment. What bad thing will happen next? Because I know a bad thing's going to happen because that's what Drew Goddard does with Andy Weir material from the book. And yeah, the shit, it is taken from the book, but it's just, here's the next bad thing, the next bad thing. And from a storytelling perspective and this and that, you need to space out your crisis moments. One bad thing, literally seconds, minutes apart, it's too stressful for me as a viewer. I need a moment to recollect myself and settle. And I don't like that. And that's a me thing. I'm saying that's a me thing. I'm not saying that's bad for the movie. I'm saying I don't like it. Same time, I think there was a little bit of pacing problem moving. I think they could have shaved down a good 15 to 20 minutes off the movie. This movie's 2 hours, 35 minutes. They could have probably shaved a good 15 to 20 minutes off of it someplace. I mean, there's a karaoke scene that didn't happen in the book. That's a good 5 minutes you could have just gotten rid of. There are parts of this movie you could have gotten rid of that you didn't need, just to shave it down a little bit. Because the actual sciencing that goes on, and I will say, I'm not a hard science sci-fi guy, but the movie does it well, and I appreciate it, and it doesn't make you feel stupid or bore you as it's doing the hard science stuff. So it does a good job portraying the hard science with it. And I'm engaged. I like seeing them MacGyver the shit. I like seeing them science their way through it. It's fun watching that kind of stuff. I like seeing them succeed and figure it out and get the victories and have the buddy moments. Like, yeah, we're going to fist bump or bump the fist as the joke goes. Or thumbs up, which is actually Rocky can't do a thumbs up, so he does a thumbs down. It all goes well. I dig it. But that was the good stuff. I'm fine with that. There's extra stuff you didn't need. When the movie's actually doing the mission, I'm having a good time. Some of the bro stuff, I'm having a good time. It's the extra stuff that drags me down in the process. I'm not enjoying it. And also, as I said, personally, I don't like in medias res storytelling, starting in the middle and going back to filling the blanks as you go forward. Let's see. What else bothered me? I already talked about how I think the hesitation to make Ryland a hero, I think they could have done that. I actually already explained that. I think they could have done it better. They could have done it better. I really do. I really think they could have done it better. And I think it's a combination Andy Weir, who didn't want to write a super macho hero, but at the same time, Drew Goddard also could have written it a little better when he adapted it for the screenplay. It's just narrative choices. This is the subjective part. So subjective part. Other than that, as I said, it's a fine movie. Looks good, sounds good, feels good, happy ending, all the good stuff. So I give it an 8 out of 10. It gets the job done. It's been well received. And now personally, subjectively, I give it a 6 out of 10 because honestly, for large parts of it, I'm bored. Personally, I'm bored. I don't care about a lot of the in-between stuff because I felt it wasn't done well for me personally. But objectively, it doesn't ruin the movie. It just is me problem. That's why 8 out of 10 objectively, 6 out of 10 subjectively. If I never see this movie again, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Jed's seen it almost. He's going for a third one this week because he loves it. And that's fine. Other people are going back to see it again. That's great. I gave it a chance as asked. I gave it all the respect it deserves for what they've done with it. Also, there's no agenda in the movie. There's no agenda. There's none. No agenda. It's just the movie, the story. And I give it credit for that. But I never need to see this movie again. I give it the respect it deserves, but that's that. That's that. So there you go. There you go. Project Hail Mary. I do recommend people go see it at least once. I recommend it. Go see it. You'll go see it so you can understand that a movie can be made without agenda and can be made with a good mix of emotion and science and be entertaining. It's just it's not for me, and I can admit that. But I can also objectively admit that it was a well-made movie and deserves the accolades it's getting and the success it's found with its opening weekend. And I hope it makes its money. I hope it manages to get over the 500 million odd mark it needs in order to get profit. I hope it gets there because it deserves it. It deserves it. Anyway, there you go. Chat made me watch this reviews. Project Hail Mary. I didn't see Kratos in the chat today. He was the one who spurred me to do this. So I do hope he watches this. I'm sure he will watch it and comment to me later, either in the comments of the stream or on the next stream about it. Because I know he and Jed had some conversations about it over the weekend at MegaCon. But either way, there you go. There you go. I hope I have fulfilled my end of the bargain, as I always do. Let's check Stream Elements. No, you guys have given me no money today. So we're going to wrap up the show. Going to end the show. I got house stuff to do. I'm going to F around on casual off-screen play on Crimson Desert. And later tonight, I will schedule a Crimson Desert stream. We will schedule a Crimson Desert stream and try and have some more fun. So what do we got for the week? So tonight, wait, hang on. You're talking to me. Hold on, you guys talking to me. What are you saying? What do you want to watch? Yeah, you have to make. Yeah, I mean, them's the rules. Do it at your own speed, Ariel. Do it at your own speed. If it's 2 parts, if I have to watch something twice, I have to stick to the cost because everybody else that does the chapter watch, they make me watch it. They buy an episode. I mean, if it's a movie and episodes are both $35. So maybe that's so. But take your time. Take your time. It's okay. It's okay. What do we got for the week? Tonight, we got a lot of Crimson Desert this week. I can tell you that. As soon as we're done here and I take a short break, I will be making that Star Trek Starfleet Academy cancellation video. Oh, I'm going to have fun with that one. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll see what the week gives us. We got this all week. There is a drive-in this Saturday. I haven't chosen the movie yet. I will endeavor to announce what the drive-in movie is for Saturday tomorrow. I'll do that. Yeah, you got more than you asked for when you had me do Pleasantville. You got way more than you asked for with that one. Yeah. So we'll see what the week gives us. We'll see what it gives us. We'll have roundtable on Sunday. And there still is no. There will be something coming back on Friday nights. I am just I will not reveal that yet. That is something for somebody else to reveal, not I. Just know that I am involved. Other than that, thank you everybody for joining me today. I appreciate everybody hanging out, hitting that like button. Hopefully subscribing if you are new here. I've had 5 subs stripped away from me over the past 48 hours because YouTube is asshole. But either way, thank you everybody. Go have a good rest of your day. I'll see you later tonight for some more Crimson Desert. Until then, take it easy. Go work. Wait.